friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Find a Way podcast with Dusty. Hopefully you're doing well on your journey. I want to talk about something that is a little bit more technical in nature, but reminded me recently of a video that I saw and kind of the route that we can take to really help position us in regards to stressful situations and the success that we need that is driven by us being able to manage our stress. And let me just say one thing real quick. I'm in St. Louis right now. We're heading back to Tennessee today. I'm looking over to the right, and I can see part of months ago, maybe October of last year, I had done a 21-mile training run for my marathon that I was doing, the two towards the end of the year. And it's just so cool to be in a random spot in St. Louis to look over to the right and go, hey, I ran that. Kind of the beauty of running is it takes you places and you see the city, you see where you're visiting, you see where you live, and you just get to know it a little bit more. And the fact that I'm just looking over right now, the Great Rivers Greenway, and that bridge, I remember doing this bridge and going up this direction. And honestly, my dad actually was visiting as well. He rode his bike with me, just kind of connect. We don't live in the same state, so it's got a good chance for us to connect and talk. And I remember specifically what I'm looking at right now, part of this Greenway trail that's right next to the freeway. I'm on Highway 55. But I'm looking over, and there's now memories that are connected with this location, but also, we're talking 3 hours plus where I'm able to conversate and connect. That's why it's a good thing to go running, go walking with family, go with a friend, go with a sibling, maybe connect, bond with that individual. Definitely a lot of good recommendations there. So, kind of back to the topic of working through stress. There's an episode that I did very, very early on, and for those of you who maybe started listening towards the middle or towards the tail end, there's a box breathing episode that talks specifically about how to do box breathing. And I would just remind and ask you to visit that, because that's going to go into a little bit more specifics. I'll give a kind of a broad touch on it, but the majority of our weight loss isn't going to come in the form of sweat. You're not going to wear a sweatsuit and sweat off fat. That's something I believed when I was struggling with my weight for many, many years, but it's not true. I'm not going to sweat it off, heat it off. I'm not going to melt it off. For the most part, a majority of our weight gets shed with our breath. It's wild. When you breathe out, you lose weight through your breath. And so what happens is, typically in stressful situations, we are very constricted with our breathing. You ever notice that when someone's in a stressful situation, you have somebody around that says, breathe, breathe? Because we constrict our breathing so quickly when we're in a stressful situation. And that's something to where we could really take a leveraging position in our weight loss journey, in our stress eating journey, in our anxiety journey, by learning how to manage and control and conquer our breathing technique, to really go to as a knee-jerk reaction to focus on our breathing rather than focus on the stressful situation. And a lot of our breathing is actually done away with properly after about 5 years old. They say that kids and our natural way of breathing, which is nose breathing, typically comes when we're a child, but after about 5 years old, we do a majority of our breathing through our mouth and less through our nose. And there are so many benefits, and you can go into a lot of the nitty-gritty details. A lot of the holistic positions talk about a lot of the endorphins, a lot of the things that are triggered because of nose breathing versus mouth breathing. But there is a very, very strong benefit to nose breathing, because first, it can help not only regulate your body, regulate your emotions. You'll not constrict as much in regards to your breath. You'll focus more on the solutions at hand rather than the stress and the situation at hand. And it also is a great way of, when you are in a very stressful and hard-pressed position, when you have a focus on your breathing. And again, we're going back to that box breathing technique. This is something that takes 2 to 5 minutes a day. And it's essentially breathing in the length of one side of the square, holding that breath, then moving it over to the top. Like, so think about the left side of a square. You're going up for 5 seconds. Nose breathing, mind you. You're at the top corner. You're holding it for 5 seconds. And then the top side of the square, you are now breathing out. Then you're inhaling as you go down and exhaling as you go across. Again, holding it every corner. Now, practicing that 3 to 5 times is going to regulate you. And so in your stressful situation, think about how much of a regulation of your emotions, regulation of your stress, that is going to really help you approach your decision on stress eating, on making a decision to just binge. I stress eat. When I'm in a very stressful situation, I need something to grab. I need something to just nibble on. And that's where I've got to really work on conquering that with managing and mastering my breathing techniques, because it's going to help me succeed long term if I have an ability to manage my breath and be successful with that. So I know this is a very quick episode, a few minutes, but this is more of a point two and summary episode that I feel like that's going to be a very important episode right now for a lot of us that dealing with stress, anxiety, a lot of stuff that we're going through. Head back over to that box breathing. Even if you've listened to it before, I would listen to it again. Get really founded in what that episode brings out as far as the relief of stress, the alleviation, and watch what a stressless situation will do to your cravings, to your hunger, to your situation. I mean, it will profoundly help in the midst of a really, really tough situation. So I know it's quick, I know it's to the point, but this is a really good episode to point you to that box breathing. Head over to that one, listen to that. I think that will really help, and I'll talk to you on the next episode. Take care.